Am I the a-hole for implying to mom I won't help her and my siblings out after I turn 18? My mom is a single mom and we struggle. I'm 17 male, the oldest, and I have 4 younger siblings, 14 female, 12 female, 9 male and 8 female. We have 2 different dads. Me and my 14 and 12-year-old sisters share a dad, and he walked out on us while mom was pregnant with my 12-year-old sister. A year later she found another guy and he was bad news, but my mom was so desperate for a guy and overlooked a lot of red flags. She had 2 kids with him, and then he stole from my mom and left without ever looking back and left us in a really tight position. After that my mom would lean on me a lot and she asked me to step up and be there for my siblings and help more around the house, and I did it because I wanted to help my mom. I hoped it would mean she wouldn't rush into another relationship with another dude who was bad news. It was tough though. Like having to help with homework and feeding my siblings and being responsible for most of the cleaning was a lot. My mom still did stuff, it was just she had to work and couldn't be there all the time. But after a year or so of that she started to take her frustrations out on me verbally. She'd complain about calls from my school, I struggle in school even still. Or if I forgot to do something. She'd tell me I couldn't let her down and I needed to act more like an adult and do better. When I was 14 she asked me if I could start making money, and I did. I helped around the neighborhood for some extra money and I got a part-time job a year later and gave mom the money from that. But it was like she'd take it all out on me more. If I got home late from work or school she'd tell me to cut it out and I needed to be more responsible. If a bill wasn't paid on time she'd tell me to be less useless or be more useful. If I couldn't do something she'd ask me what good was I doing. She'd tell me I wasn't a kid anymore and needed to stop expecting the life of one out of nowhere sometimes. Eventually I got so tired of it and it became so constant that I started saving money so I can get away ASAP. Mom doesn't know about it and I still give her the rest of what I make, because it's really the only way to save without her knowing. My mom expects me to stay here and help for the next several years until my siblings are all older. I'll be out of the house as soon as I turn 18 and I won't consider staying for anyone, not even my siblings. Mom has been extra nasty lately to me and she was saying I should start looking for a full-time job now so I can be a full second income. I was like, bold of you to assume I'll be getting a full-time job to help out more, and mom was then even more pissed and she told me I fucking need to get over myself and accept it. She told me I was such a dick for implying I could abandon my siblings like that. She was so loud my siblings heard and they were upset at me too.
Not the a-hole. Get out of that abusive household as quickly as safely possible. Maintain contact with the younger siblings, if possible and healthy for you, because your mother will probably turn her focus to the 14-year-old, and she'll need emotional support. Remember, parentification is abuse and you do not have to suffer for one moment longer for any reason. Best of luck to you.
This is the clearest case of parentification I've seen on the sub.
Not the a-hole, your mother's choices are not your problem. She continued to have children and shouldn't be expecting you to raise them and help support them. They have fathers. That is what child support is. The men who left her are the ones her anger needs to be projected to, not you. Gradually hold back more of your money. You're right by giving some and saving some. She won't necessarily suspect you're making your escape plan. Good luck. I am sorry you're being put through this. It isn't your fault, and you are far from useless.
Make sure the money is somewhere she absolutely cannot get it.
Not the a-hole. At first I had some sympathy for your mom, but by the time I read to the end, no. She'd tell me I couldn't let her down and I needed to act more like an adult and do better. You weren't an adult. You were a kid doing your best in a shit situation and being parentified. Eventually I got so tired of it and it became so constant that I started saving money so I can get away ASAP. Good for you. Don't tell her what you're planning. You have a right to a life of your own and to be happy. Good luck.
Whoa, not the a-hole. Don't even tell her your plan, just leave. She will make your life miserable or find some way to screw it up for you.
Am I the a-hole for saying not everything is about your kid? I was having a small birthday party for my son. We decided on his favorite pizza place. Both my sister-in-law and daughter are vegetarian and I asked them both what kind of pizza they wanted and they both chose garden pizza with all veggies. We also had pepperoni and a meat lovers, cheesy garlic bread, wings, and an Italian salad. Lots of food for dinner plus the cake and ice cream later. My brother comes with his new girlfriend and her son. I have never met this boy. I was an extremely busy mom with my 3 kids and 4 other cousins. The girlfriend asked where the cheese pizza was and I told her we don't have cheese. She started in on my brother about how could you not tell your family my child only likes cheese pizza and says something about it's because of his autism. I said we have cheesy garlic bread, but the boy didn't like that either. Then I suggested he could have extra large piece of cake. It was white with sprinkles. Her kid only liked chocolate cake. Around this time my son and his other cousins started arguing about Fortnite and the new update, and my son decided he wanted the Airbender Battle Pass, and I'm sidetracked with that and logging the cousin into my daughter's Switch. The girlfriend asked me to order a cheese pizza for her son so he could have something to eat. I snapped back with not everything is about your kid. I was then distracted by my daughter yelling at her cousin because she didn't want him playing her Switch with gross chicken grease hands. I went to defuse that. Afterwards, when it came to cake and ice cream time, I noticed my brother, his girlfriend, and her son left. I get a long text message from my brother about how I could bully a child and his mother and what an awful example I'm setting for my kids. I do not feel like I was out of line, and she was a rude guest, and now my brother and I aren't talking.
Info. Did you tell your brother it was okay for him to bring his girlfriend and her son? If they were just tag-along guests, I can see your point, but if they were specifically invited, I can see why they would. I think you would be more accommodating.
I never invited them, but my brother asked if they could come because other kids were there. I had no clue about the cheese pizza issue beforehand.
I'd bet your brother said you invited them all rather than inviting themselves. She may have even asked if there would be food the kid could eat. Sounds like brother is trying to blame you for his mess up.
Not the a-hole. If she really cared so much for her child, she would have bought him a cheese pizza. You don't go to a birthday party and demand things, especially when you were not invited to said party. I hope your brother will make better relationship decision in the future for your sake. The audacity of parents to demand someone else do something their child. It's not your job and not your issue.
My cousin's kid only eats certain things as he's 4. She always makes sure if they go to a party that she brings foods he eats in case others don't have it, even if it's common to have at such an event, example cheese pizza at a kid's party, as not everyone will just buy common things and may not even have common things.
Not the a-hole. I have an extremely picky eater who also only eats cheese. If we were in that situation, the simple solution is for me to order my son a cheese pizza myself. It's not that complicated. My son's eating issues aren't anyone else's problem.
Not the a-hole. She was rude from the start. You already had your hands full with the kids. She or your brother could have ordered the pizza themselves. If her child is very picky, which is not unusual with autism, she should have had something with her that he can eat just in case. Your response was rude, but her trying to order you around at home is disrespectful at best.
I actually think the brother is responsible for this whole fiasco. If I bring my son to a family event, it's my responsibility to make sure they're comfortable. As soon as he heard there was no cheese pizza, he should have ordered one. He wasn't acting like a good partner.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.